You know what you should do? You should follow me on Twitter at Bromo018. Link in the description. Do it now. Hello, my friends. Bromo18 here. Glad that you could join me today on what is PES 2020. This is our realistic Manchester United rebuild. So welcome everyone. We are here, PES 2020 Master League, finally. I've waited 2 days from the release of PES 2020 originally so that we could have the live squad updates, the live update, and we have finally got it. So I'm ready to begin. Absolutely buzzing for this one. Can't wait to set in stone. We'll get into it in just a minute. First of all, we of course have to set up our Master League, and we start with this. Of course, they have removed the ability to be your own custom manager now, which of course not happy with at all. And looking down this list, there are none that are really shouting out to me. I don't really want to be a real manager, to be honest. I want it to be our own custom story. So we're really looking at these guys at the bottom, and as you can imagine, none of them really look like me. So sort of struggling here. I guess we're going for like the youngest, which I guess would be this guy. It's not particularly shouting out to me though, so that's not great. We'll go through and edit all of the stats and stuff if we go through here. But yeah, as we're doing this, I might also sort of explain to you what we're sort of getting at in this save. So really, by realistic rebuild, we're really looking at the way in which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is setting up his team and the philosophy he's employing since he's taken over at Manchester United, and that is, you know, to be the hardest working team in the division, the fittest team in the division. To be versatile. Some games they'll play, you know, try and control the ball, control possession. Other games it's high intensity, and other games they're happy to sit back, soak up the pressure and play on the counter. You know, and that's what I want us to be like. They are, of course, in the transfer market, and as we look at the transfer market here, we're looking at transfer frequency. We'll go with normal on this. Negotiation difficulty, we'll stick with normal, I think, for all of them. First window transfers we will enable, but I don't expect loads of moves in the first transfer system, in the first transfer window, sorry. Because, you know, I really want to give a chance to the team, to the players, and see what they can do, minus a couple. Match level, we're going to start, I think, at top player, subject to increase. I'm still sort of getting to grips with the gameplay, seeing, you know, what level I'm sort of at. So we're going to start with that. Of course, currency unit will be pounds, and stops during transfer window. We'll go anywhere, only when there's progress. So we're going to go with that. But yeah, in terms of the transfer market as a whole, we're going to be employing the same system that, you know, United are looking to implement in real life. You know, they generally want to buy young players, homegrown players. And as we can see, the first cutscene, it's the first Master League I'm doing as well, so it's all new to me. On top of that, looks good to be fair, looks shiny. Ashley Young and Juan Mata welcome me to the club. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I imagine he's set as the captain, Ashley Young. You know, that's probably going to change. There is David De Gea as well. Cutscenes are looking good. A little bit of music in the background. From behind that looks like, yeah, it is Marcus Rashford. Very good. Very good indeed. All the players coming along, welcoming me to the club on the training pictures. Oh, wow, they're all sort of clumped into one here. I was expecting them to come around when there's different scenarios and stuff, but they're all sort of just ploughed into one. But that's okay. And now, here we are. Season objectives. Setting goals. Okay then. Let's see how this one goes. I'd like to discuss the season's objectives, of course. For this club to go for 6%, we need to maintain our place as one of the top dogs in the league. That's why I think this season's goal should be finishing the season in a position to win a place in the UEFA Champions League. Let's have a look. Can we finish in the UEFA Champions League? Yeah, I agree with that. We should be trying to secure a top 4 finish. So I'm going to say yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's realistic for Manchester United as well, of course. It's at least what they're going to be aiming for. There's a couple of teams up there who are also going through a transition period who I think could drop out as well. The likes of Arsenal and the likes of Chelsea. So, yeah, I think it's personally more than achievable. Of course, there's 3 teams that are really above the rest of the pack in terms of Tottenham, Man City, and Liverpool. So, it's whether or not we can at least try to compete with them. As this cutscene rolls on here. I'm wondering if they've got anything else in store, if they're going to talk about... Nope, that's it, guys. That's it. Wonder what we got next. Do we have any more cutscenes? Yes, we do. Meet the press. Okay, so, of course, anyone who hasn't been following sort of the build-up to PES, maybe this is the first time you're getting this season, they have, of course, introduced the press conference feature now, where you'll be asked questions and be able to answer them, and those things will supposedly impact on future stuff. So he says there will be much competition for the league title this season. How do you fancy your chances? I didn't get a chance to read the rest of it. I'm going to say we need to respect the other teams. Naturally, we'll try our best to bring home the title this season, but as you know, coming out on top in a league like this is no mean feat. We're under no illusions about our chances. And I think that's fair. It's quite a big ask to be asking this team to win the league first season, either on PES or in real life, But we'll see how it goes. What style of football do you want to play this season? Now, we'll see if they've got the answer. I'm really looking for this team to be versatile. I want to see clean, sportsmanlike football. I want to put on a show. I want to see the boys play hard. I guess we can go with that one. That's really what we're looking for. Intensity is the key word for me. Whether you're attacking or defending, you've got to be ready to put your heart and soul into the game. Precision and technique have their place, but it's critical to remember that football is a contact sport. It's a battle out there, and there's no place for players who aren't ready to lay it all on the line and play their hearts out. Which I think is quite representative of the system they're sort of employing and trying to implement in real life. And so I think that's fair indeed. Only a couple of questions in that press conference. Here we go, we're finally into it. Welcome to Master League. This is the beginning of your career as a manager. First is check your mails. They've finally got a quick button to be able to access messages, which is very good. Access a diary from the top left panel at any time to peruse a record of all dialogue spoken during cutscenes. Already, yeah, okay, we got that. So of course they've got this new shiny new Master League system in terms of not just the press conferences, but also the layout and stuff. Much change from last year. We've also got this new followers tab as well. At the moment, we've got 2.2 million, just over. And, that's really going to impact things like the marketing campaign, the amount of finances, the level of finances, the amount of revenue you're making weekly and yearly. So, yeah, it's good to start. Having a look, they haven't got the real fixtures, so we do start the season off with a home tie against Bournemouth. Of course, it was Chelsea in real life, but we'll see. So we're going to look through, I guess, the team first of all, and see what we've got here. Bits and pieces. Surprised to see Daniel James not rated a little bit higher. I guess he has started off the season so well. We're all sort of got high expectations for him now. But looking elsewhere, the squad is a little bit light, and maybe we do need to make a couple of signings in the transfer window, just so we've actually got some depth. As you can see, we've only got 2 free strikers at the club, I guess, if you're going to class Martial. But of course, Martial or Rashford might be playing as a winger. So, we'll really see how that one goes. But, there might be a couple of issues to be addressed here along the way. Onto the messages here. Just having a look through. It's obviously, of course, a new layout and stuff, just adjusting to it. The International Champions Cup. I don't know if I'll play those games, but I certainly won't be showing you guys. If I do, I'll skip along through the transfer window. By the way, in terms of the structure of this, if you're watching on release day or the day after, my first 2 episodes will be out on the first day. So they'll both be out on the 12th, episode 1 and 2. I think in episode 1 there might not be a game. We'll see how transfer window goes. But if there isn't, then of course you will be able to watch episode 2 immediately after as well. where there definitely will be games. So just bear that in mind. So training regimes, and sorry I couldn't find the time to explain this in person, but here's what you need to know. Currently the training staff is putting the players through a regime of their own. We can go through training, etc. Let me introduce you to the scouting team. Managing the budget. Here's a breakdown of your budget, which you're in charge. Transfer fees come out of transfer budget, blah blah blah. Portion of the club's income, such as prize money, yeah, etc. You'll manage your career. Now, as your agent, I need to explain some things. You got the attention of some other clubs today, so expect offers to come in. The main schedule for August. We of course start on the 22nd, so we've got a couple of weeks before that goes through. So we're into negotiations here. If you have a look at our transfer budget, it's quite big, and we've got a lot to sort of spend, not much of a salary budget. But first of all, we're going to go into the team, and we are going to do this. Goodbye, Phil Jones. Goodbye. Elsewhere, what else are we looking at here? Who else would I be happy with going? Marcus Rojo. I'd like to get rid of him if possible. Any others in there? I'm going to keep Ashley Young for now because we're struggling with depth at fullback, so we'll see. He can of course play left back as well. We've got Diego Dalot for right back. We'll see how that one goes. Nemanja Matic. Now I'm personally not a fan of Nemanja Matic. I don't think he's positive enough. I think he passes backwards and sideways. I don't think he's mobile enough. And I personally have a feeling, just from gauging things that you hear and stuff, that he's a negative influence in the dressing room. I could be wrong, but I'm not personally a fan. So we'll see how this one goes. But he could go on the list as well. Lee Grant, I guess he can go, because we only need one backup goalkeeper. And looking at the others, you know, we might be okay for now. As I say, there's not a lot of depth in this side, and so we might need to, you know, sort of bring in one or two. Having a look at the U team, it's, you know, always usually the same guys, not many that are very high rated at all. But yeah, I guess that's it for now. In terms of incomings, what would we look at if we wanted to bring something in? Maybe a forward or a winger, one of the other, or perhaps one who can play both. You know, I think centre midfield as well. We need something else in there. In terms of defence, a left back, unless we decide to keep Ashley Young. But it's gonna be a tough one here, whether or not we're gonna you know, have to bring in more players and stuff, considering I wanted to sort of keep the squad as tight as possible for now. But yeah, we're going to go with that. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to go through transfer window a bit. I'm going to keep you guys updated along the way, and then see what happens. So I'll be back with you shortly. Right, so hello everyone, welcome back. We're a couple of weeks now in, well, not even a couple of weeks, just over a week in now. We're on the 8th of August. Of course, started on the 1st. Not a whole lot happened so far. Looked into training, of course, of you know, rectified that really, and also tinkering with the squad as well. One thing that we have had a notification about is apparently we've received an offer for Ashley Young, actually, from Crystal Palace. In fact, the message does say that they're hoping we set him on a cheat now that he's past his prime. So we're going to take a look at this offer and see what they're sort of offering. They're offering 3.9 million. You know, he's got a release fee of 5, so I don't really see the point in accepting something that's $1 million less. Yeah, I mean, listen, he's not part of our first team plans really. Of course, Shaw one side and Wan-Bissaka on the other, really, with Diego Dalot sprinkled in there as well. But you know, he's still depth. He's still depth. So we'll see how it goes. Really, I'd really not like to sell him before we've got a replacement in terms of squad depth. But you know, if it happens, it happens. But that's the only really the piece of information. I'll just quickly break down the training and stuff for you guys whilst we're at it. In terms of the centre backs, they're all pretty much on build up, trying to, of course, make them as technically able as possible. The goalkeeper's all on offensive goalkeeper, and the fullbacks on offensive fullbacks as well. Pogba and McTominay, box to box. Daniel James, box to box as well, because he's, of course, stamina is in the red. And I would like to improve that along with his general other attributes, his passing and stuff. Also worth bearing in mind that he doesn't have a face scan, which is pretty annoying. I thought, considering he was, you know, at a partner club, they'd all have face scans, but no, it's not to be. Martial, I think Martial we're going to have on the wing and Rashford up front, so we decided to go prolific winger for Martial and goal poacher for Rashford. Of course, that can change and fluctuate throughout the season. And Lingard roaming flank, of course, he's a versatile player, as you can see there. So we'll see how that one goes. Centre backs build up again, right backs, you know, offensive fullbacks. With Fred box to box again, majority of the centre mids are on box to box. Mata roaming flank, Andres Pierre a creative playmaker. I was thinking actually maybe I should make him box to box again. He's trying to upgrade his stamina, because stamina does, you know, decrease quite heftily on PES actually. Majority of the young players, Gomez, Chong, etc., on box to box as well, trying to improve their stamina. Mason Greenwood, poacher, he's one who could feature a lot this season. You know, there's a lot of high hopes of him. Well, they've got him as 18. I'm pretty sure he's younger than that. I'm pretty sure he's 17. Only just turned 17 as well. So we'll see how that one goes. Certainly be keeping an eye on him over the course of the season. And Fossey Mensah as well. I'm actually he's listed as a right back on this. He can play centre back, and I do want him to be a centre back actually. For any of you who watched my Ajax series on FIFA 19 last year, we did actually sign him. We had him at centre back, and he was absolutely terrific. So I think he can play a part in the future as well. So I'll keep an eye on him. Elsewhere, not a whole lot to inform you of. Of course, we're looking at players and stuff, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to skip forward now to the next part, and I'll see you there shortly. So welcome back, everyone. More information for you, some news. They have decided to pay the release clause of Ashley Young, just over 5 million. You know, we don't really have the power to reject it anyway, but of course we did ask for that if they wanted to sign him so badly, and they have opted to do that. So let's have a look here. Accept terms. It's fine. He will be released. So yeah, we're going to need a left back, I guess. Just trying to look, sort of think what best ways is to approach this. You know, do we go for another young left back to develop alongside Luke Shaw? Of course, you know, only one of them can play each week, or do we go for someone who's more experienced? I don't know really. I've already been having a look and haven't seen a lot that's taken my fancy so far, but we will find something, of course. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have a look. I'm going to keep, you know, probing for potential targets and stuff, and we'll see how it goes. I'll be back with you guys in a moment. Right, so welcome back, everyone. You join us. We're a little bit further into transfer window. First of all, Ashley Young has departed the club now for Crystal Palace, and in response to that, we have begun negotiations with a certain Jamal Lewis for Norwich City. And he has accepted our offer, actually. All we need to do is sign off on the deal. And he's one of us, as the message says. You know, obviously we were torn between whether or not we wanted a more experienced player. Do we want a young player? Listen, we're going to try and develop him alongside Luke Shaw. You know, I really like Jamal Lewis. I think he's a really promising player. And I think he fits right into our transfer philosophy as well. He's still young. He's homegrown, of course, from Northern Ireland. And, you know, he's at the Norwich Academy. The fee is 10 million, which, don't know really, I think they'd want more. Would they want more? Yeah, well, yeah, they would. But, you know, we've got to be really pleased with the fact that we've brought him in. Offensive-minded fullback, but very much can do both areas. Still got a lot of developing to do, but I think he could do that at the club. So that's that situation sorted. We're good at fullback for both sides now. The question is, you know, what else do we need? And if we have a look here, so we've got lots of centre backs. I mean, we've got 3, 4, maybe 5 that I would like to put in. Marcus Rowe and Phil Jones, of course, are on the transfer list. 2 left backs as well. Once Jamal Lewis comes in, and 2 right backs. In terms of centre midfielders, you got McTominay, you got Fred, you got Pogba, and then I suppose Matic. But you know, again, the question is, Will he remain at the club? Not sure yet. Attacking midfielder wise, well, I mean, I'll show you my formation soon. We're going to go with a 4-2-3-1. You know, you can play Mata there, you can play Lingard there, you can play Pereira there. Of course, Gomez coming up through the ranks as well. So we're okay there. Wingers wise, Daniel James maybe on the right, Martial on the left. Lingard can play on the right, as can Rashford, where they can play both wings. So I know maybe we're a little bit light in the winger department as well. Do we need a right midfielder? I think that's something we need to analyse as well. And of course, up front, you got Rashford, Greenwood, and Martial, who, you know, can fit in there as well. The question is, do we need another forward? So I think winger, centre midfielder, and forward are perhaps, you know, the three positions. They're not mutually exclusive, so we can sign a winger who can also play up front, and I think that would be the preferred option. But centre midfielder as well, I think we are a little bit light in that department, and we need something more in there. You know, really a possession-minded player. So we're going to see how that one goes. Got a couple of players in mind. A certain Mr. Longstaff from Newcastle does come into mind, but it's whether or not, you know, that's really worth it. Do we already have that in Scott McTominay? I think we do. But again, does add to depth. So we'll see how it goes. Going to sim forward for now, and I'll be back with you shortly. Right, well, that was a nice little cutscene there, a little bit cringy, but you know, they always do it there. So that's our first sign of the summer, and I'm absolutely delighted with that one. Jamal Lewis is a really good signing. Better just make sure I do the training on him as well, actually. We want him to be on offensive fullback. There it is. Annoying he doesn't have his face scan, but you know, I'm sure we'll cope. But that's a good signing. Having up, Memphis Depay has gone to Liverpool. Now that is very interesting. 72 million, just under 73 million. Surprised. Well, I suppose I say surprised. Maybe that is a fairly realistic move. We're a day before the opening day of the season, by the way, and you know, we have a look here. We've got some transfer bids for us as well, and you know, with preparations are going fine, but we do need a little bit more before the end of the season, transfer window even. So let's have a look at these offers. Lee Grant, 394,000. I'm going to be stingy, and I'm going to ask for his release fee. So let's go with that. Meanwhile, we got also an offer for Marcus Rojo. You know, they've offered well below his market value, actually. We're going to go with that. I'm not looking for too much. I just want to get him out, to be honest. He's not going to play any part in our future. So, see how that one goes. Meanwhile, still waiting on my scouts to come back and give me some options, really. We'll see if they can give us anything. Having a look through our messages. National team call-ups. Of course, same as ever, really. Nothing too drastic. Hopefully we can avoid injuries there, and that's about it, really. We are a day before the season. I think I'm going to play the first game because why not? I don't think we've had enough moves in the transfer window to go on for too long. So yeah, we're going to go through, and we are actually going to play our first game of the season against Bournemouth. So let's have a look at this cutscene here. League Opener Chapter 1. Will we have some press conferences? Your first year as the manager of the club is just about to kick off. Do you think you'll be including newcomer Jamal Lewis on your team sheet for the first league match? I'm going to say I haven't decided yet. Really, there should be an option to say I'm not revealing my team sheet. First match of the season is always important, but I prefer not to get bogged down in who's on my team sheet. Oh, I didn't get a chance to read the rest of it. They need to increase the length of the cutscenes there. Elsewhere, let's have a look at the messages. I presume Oh no, it's an offer for Juan Mata actually from Watford. Now that is a really weird one, that Watford would come in for him. Let's have a look at this. You know what? We've been offered 50 million. I'm personally, you know, I don't want to sell him because I think he can be an important part. He's an experienced player. He's still a very good player. And yes, you know, we're never going to get an offer as good as this for someone who's in their early 30s. But you know, I don't see the point in selling him, to be honest. Will be a part of this setup, so we are going to reject that offer from Watford. Elsewhere, let's have a look now. I guess there's nothing left to do but to start the game. First of all, I do want to show you the team sheet. I want to just finalise it and stuff before we go into it. So we're back with you shortly to show you the lineup ahead of today's opening fixture. Right, everyone, welcome back. This is the lineup we've gone with. As you can see, the 4-2-3-1 formation. The defence is pretty standard. David De Gea in goal. Wan-Bissaka at the back, right back, along with Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw on the other flank. In centre midfield, we've got Scott McTominay and Paul Pogba. McTominay playing a slightly more defensive role. Pogba's got a little bit more licence to go forward as a centre midfielder. And then we also have Jesse Lingard as the number 10. Daniel James on the right, Anthony Martial on the left, and Marcus Rashford leading the line. Currently 70 of team spirit. Hopefully we can build that up along the way. In terms of the tactics, of course, we are going for a possession sort of front foot style system in this game. Of course, we are at home, so you know, we need to try and seize the initiative there. Bournemouth-wise, standard for them, 4-4-2. You know, they're a very good side, very good side. Surprised us to see that they're not playing Ryan Fraser. They have instead decided to go for Arnaud Danjuma Groeneveld. And those of you who watch my Arc series will remember him as well very closely. But elsewhere, it's a fairly standard formation for them. We've got to be wary of their two forwards, Callum Wilson and Josh King. We have bear that in mind as well in the mark settings. We've got them, our two centre-backs marking them tightly. Hopefully they can contain them today. Elsewhere though, you know, it's set up quite well. It's set up quite well indeed. Hopefully we can outnumber them in midfield with the extra man. Of course, you know, they do get the advantage up top with our defenders being one-on-one with them. So, you know, we're going to see how that one goes. Elsewhere, there's not much more rambling for me to do. Let's begin our first game of the season against Bournemouth.
Manchester United stand at the dawn of yet another league campaign. The overwhelming question being, of course, how ready are they? It's a great time to be a fan. Smiles are beaming, expectations are up. They've been deprived of the game during the off-season. It feels like an eternity. New hopes, new faces, but the same old game. That match day feeling is well and truly back. Old Trafford rising to the occasion as only Old Trafford can. Some terrific scenes at the Stretford end. Everybody waiting to get the season underway. Everybody equal on the start line.
Well, with star names and new faces, both on the pitch and on the bench, let's hope for a more attractive, competitive and unpredictable league. A better product for all to see, although I'm beginning to think that we're asking for the impossible. We'll get lots to analyse and debate come what may as ever. And this ought to get us off to a busy start. I've been waiting for this quite a while, and I know you have too, Peter. So, here we go.
Kick off then, guys. Hopefully we can begin the season with a very important win. Can Martial get onto that ball? He certainly can. Rashford turns onto the right. Looking for James on the overlap. He's got it as well. Dan James is there. He'll go for goal. Great save from Artur Boruc to prevent us going 1-0 up early on. Promising moves though. Right, well that's half time, guys. 0-0. Not a lot to show you, unfortunately. I do apologise for the lack of highlights. Just hasn't been anything. Just been that one shot. Really, we could have done better with that. Just I've noticed there's a lot of button delay, and it's costing us sort of creating attacking moves. They're just not getting passes off quick enough and stuff. So that's a little bit frustrating. Hopefully in the second half we can improve. Oh, it's good passing play. Martial's got a bit of space now, and he'll go for goal. Calm save for the keeper in the end. Got an attacking situation here now. Lingard. Oh, Lingard goes offside, but it's to the overlapping Wan-Bissaka. He's going to whip it in. Oh, keeper parries it away. No one there to collect. Oh, he's going to whip it in. Maguire should be dealing with that. He does. Lingard to Martial. Another opportunity for us to break now. He's got acres of space Martial has to drive into. Defender doesn't commit. Martial will go for goal. He bounces. And there's the deadlock broken. Anthony Martial. It's a brilliant solo effort from him. Drives through to the space. He's got acres just to run into. Bournemouth have committed men forward. And here the centre-back should push. But for some reason he doesn't. He holds his ground. Takes a deflection off Nathan Ake. And it works in our favour there as it sort of sways into the far corner. Otherwise it was going off target. We have another look here. You don't really get a pretty poor view actually from that replay. But Anthony Martial, he seizes the initiative and drives forward. And that's just what we needed to break the deadlock. 1-0. 70 minutes gone. Martial, go to the overlapping Shaw. Shaw will whip it in there. It's a poor cross again. Back into Martial though. Lingard to Dan James. He'll go for goal. Well, that might have been sailing into the top corner there. Just wide in the end. Oh, well done, McTominay. Takes a hit there. Shaw. He's got Martial on the edge. Oh, terrible shot in the end. It was a good attacking move as well. McTominay takes one for the team there. Does well. Shaw lays it back to him. It's just a really poor finish. Not enough curl on it in the end. Rashford to Lingard. Needs overlap. He's got nothing. Shaw will drive forward, and there it is, full time in the end. Not the most convincing of wins, but we do get the win, and that's the most important thing to start off the season with 3 points. It's that man Martial in the end. I suppose really it should be classed as an own goal because it did look like it was going off target after Nathan Ake's deflection, but nevertheless he does really well to get that goal away. And as I say, the most important thing is the 3 points. There's some things still to work on, you know. In terms of attacking in particular, I think there's a lot of improvement to be done, but we can be pleased with the way in which our first game has gone. Elsewhere, the likes of Man City win 4-0 in the end. Tottenham drop points away at Newcastle, which is a surprise. Arsenal drop points at Sheffield United as well. Liverpool win, Chelsea win. So, yeah, a couple of results going our way so far, and that's how the table looks. Not that it matters. We've only one game gone. Right, there's another cutscene. Didn't really add too much, but nevertheless, cutscene is a cutscene. Next up, we've got a Renegades that really we need to be looking to take 3 points from consistently. Crystal Palace away, Watford at home, and then Brighton Hove Albion away. We've got to be looking to secure 3 points in all of those games. We are going to round it off there for now, though, in this episode. In terms of the structure, we're going to come back for the next couple of games, Crystal Palace and Watford, in the next episode. But, you know, in terms of the overall structure, we're going to play games in between episodes. I'll record highlights, I'll show the highlights, and then we'll come back to certain milestone games. So that's how it's going to be. But for now, we are going to round it off there. Do be sure to come back in the next episode where we finish off transfer season and see if we can make any more signings as well. On that note, we are going to round it off there. If you've made it through to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys will be along for the rest of the series. I'm really excited for this one. So hopefully we can continue it and keep the momentum going. Do be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, as I really do appreciate it. On that note, we are going to round it off there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.